I was going to do a video of Cybernoid 2 for the Commodore 64, but I completely suck at this game, and I'm not going to upload a video of a game that I can't play properly, or can't get very far in. So instead, I'll do a video of Seymour Stuntman, which is also called Stuntman Seymour. The game can't quite decide what it's called, but it's not really important. This is a platform game, and it's very similar to a few other platform games that Codemasters made, like CJ's Elephant Antics and DJ Puff. All I know is that Seymour, in his first game, was going to be a Dizzy game, but there was a bit of an argument on the theming, and Dizzy was changed to Seymour, and then he had his own little 15 minutes of fame, and he starred in about 5 different games, I think. This is one of them, and I quite like this. So I've got my Commodore 64 set up, so let's play some Stuntman Seymour, or Seymour Stuntman. That's a nice cute title screen. It's nothing amazing really. There's no loaded tune on this game though. The game does do that when it first starts, and I don't know why, because I don't think it used to do that. And once again, this is a computer game, so they've gone for a very basic title screen that's just full of text. And of course this is a Codemasters game, so it's a budget game too. Oh god, that's not a good start, Andy. First impressions, I don't like the colours they've used here. It's too much yellow. The Commodore 64 doesn't have enough colours to do a decent gradient for the background, so I suppose they just did what they could. It's not a very complicated game. I mean, it's just a Codemasters budget game. A lot of the enemies have the same movement. The only difference I can see really between most enemies is that some of them jump and throw bombs, and some of them jump and fire bullets. You know, I thought this game looked quite ugly at first when I first played it, and I think it's just the colours really, because if you look at it here, it does look quite nice, and it's not exactly easy to draw good art when you have such a limited amount of colours to choose from, and you have double pixel width. I think the main character, his main sprite here, they've managed to make him look quite cute, but the actual design for the character Seymour is quite awful, as you can see in the display bar at the bottom there. He's kind of like they took Dizzy and then they melted him in the microwave. There's a little bit of a problem. You can see here, these platforms, you fall off if you're standing in the middle of the platform. Now that's the case for absolutely everything. So it's almost like what you actually stand on is kind of shifted over to the left of what you can see. If you've played CJ Elephant Antics on the Commodore 64, or you've played DJ Puff, then I'm pretty sure this uses a lot of the same code. I wouldn't call it lazy, but they did kind of repackage the same game with a couple of different levels. Something about this game is a lot easier than the other ones. The Seymour games are all based in Hollywood, in the movies. So the story of this game, which I probably should have read up on before I started doing this narration, he's making a movie. Or I really should have been shot there. Maybe the bullets disappear once you've killed the enemy that fired them. Yeah, like that guy. I usually really struggle on the bosses, but I think I've figured out the pattern here. Once he jumps, you just need to get really close to him. Oh, did he get me there? He was miles away. Oh, come on. I'm trying to tell you how I've mastered it. Keep getting hit. Yeah, so what you have to do is this. You have to get really close to him, and that way you can react to anything he throws. And there you have it. I took way more hits than I should have done there. I'm pretty sure that music's bugged. It always plays like that, but I don't think it's supposed to. Alright, so this does, in fact, introduce a new enemy. Them birds that, I guess they're laying eggs. Yeah, I've got to say, this doesn't look too bad, actually. I'm not really sure about this particular team. I get the impression that certain people that worked with the Commodore 64 and certain people that worked with the Commodore Amiga weren't just doing it as a job. They really loved the machines that they were working with. It seems to me that the games just have this little extra love, just this little extra effort put into them that you very rarely got on the Amstrad. The Commodore 64 itself is quite well suited to a game like Stuntman Seymour. Because it offers, you can update the screen at 50 frames per second, no problem. You can shift the screen around, you can scroll it smoothly, and you've got hardware sprites that don't slow down the machine either. And of course you've got the unique sound chip as well. I'm not really sure if this game is in that sort of ballpark, or if it's just some quick rushed out project just to make a bit of money. But the Commodore 64 was around for a really long time. People weren't really always expecting the next one to come in a couple of years' time. You know, so they hung onto their machines, but the machine was around for about 11 years, and it was still getting the odd game released here and there. I think the only reason they stopped making Commodore 64 computers was because Commodore itself stopped trading. But I mean, the users of these home computers hung onto their machines for a long time, because it turns out a lot of the magazines that were quite popular carried on running even well after everybody stopped making games for the machines. This is one of those games that was released on a couple of different systems. Not too many different systems though. I think the Seymour games were mostly only on 8-bit machines. The first game was converted, and I have that on the Amiga, but the other Seymour games were only released on the Commodore 64, the ZX Spectrum and the Amstrad CPC. I've got Wild West Seymour on the Amstrad, which I really quite like that, but I think it would make for a boring video. And the first game is supposed to be really good, but I can't really get along with it because it's got this great big maze. Oh no, it's not game over, is it? Oh, okay. You can see down the bottom there it says take 5. I think that is my last life. Right, so here's the second boss. Oh god, look at that guy. Fat-faced the pirate. And he's exactly the same as the first boss, apart from the way he looks. Oh god, that was close. That was really close. So you can see here I've got the pattern down, but can you die now, please? Are you gonna die? How many times have I got to hit this guy? Oh, I don't believe it. Well, I do believe it. I always die on the second level boss. I've played this game a fair few times. And I always die at the end of level 2. I don't know. That's just the way it happens. So I guess game over means the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching.